Hey everybody, my name is Atlas, and I am here today with Diablo III, Reaper of Souls. Reaper of Souls is currently in the Family and Friend beta test. It's pretty exciting. I'm very excited about it. This is the, of course, up-and-coming Diablo III expansion, set to be released in 2014, assuming that Blizzard goes with the date they're saying, which, with them, who knows. Now, this expansion, a lot of people I think kind of lost track of Diablo 3. It's sort of, I don't want to call it lackluster exactly, but it lost interest fairly quickly by a wide area of the population, and myself included. I mean, I quite enjoyed it for a while. I got my monk to max level. I was playing around on Inferno difficulty and whatnot, but I'll tell you a little bit about the problems that I personally had with it in the long run. A lot of it, honestly, was kind of the repetitive nature. Now, I know you're thinking, this is a Diablo game. Diablo games are repetitive. That's true, and I enjoy that aspect, how it was handled in something like Diablo 2. And the reasoning for that is the game, for one, was difficult. It was very, very hard when you got up into the very high difficulties. And you were consistently getting, like, interesting loot, and there was this constant kind of quest for making your character better and better. You had things like the PvP option, any number of different things that kind of kept it interesting. Whereas Diablo 3, it was kind of like, well, I've just finished the campaign 4 times, now what? And it's not even really difficult, depending on your class, which I played a monk. It's not difficult. It's a little boring. Like, you kick along barely being able to die, like taking no damage and dealing no damage, and just kind of slowly eking your way through everything. And that's just kind of how it worked. So there was a number of different little things. Like, for example, I mean, the monk is supposed to be kind of a martial artist type, and the way I was geared, and the only way I was geared at the level of gear I was getting, because I was never like a super hardcore player, but I was stuck with like a fist weapon and like a tower shield, which is super silly. Like, I didn't like it, but it was what I needed to be tanky enough to just, you know, kind of inch my way along through the really high difficulties. And it was kind of like it was really easy if I did that, but really, like, way over the top if I didn't. So, like, I had a really narrow kind of build path, and my abilities all had to be a very particular way. You know, it was super awkward. So, one thing that they allowed you to do within this beta, I was able to copy my account over from my North American server. So that was kind of nice. I didn't realize that was going to be an option, so I have things. I mean, I really never leveled much, but the monk got my 37 Demon Hunter, who it says I have more playtime with than the monk, and I don't think that's accurate, but I was able to jump on. I played with a Crusader a little bit. Super fun. I mean, it is a level 4 Crusader, so I can say, you know, whatever I can say about that, but they're super fun. I'm probably going to spend some more time playing with one. I'll probably try to make a video as far as like, kind of what a late-game Crusader looks like. I won't dick around with the early game. I will just tell you that they are super entertaining. Like, a lot of the classes have the problem of being kind of boring early on, because they don't really do anything very interesting. It's like Crusader by level 3, you're doing cool stuff. I was like, oh, this is cool. So we're going to go ahead and select this hero. This is my monk. He didn't even look like this just a handful of hours ago. Like, I recently did all these changes. I found this awesome Daibo, which I think looks amazing, and this helmet. Swapped out my awesome looking shoulders. Anyway, boring. So we'll talk a little bit about the game options, what exactly we've got going on. So Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls is adding a 5th act, which involves Malthael, and I don't know much beyond that, honestly. I've played a little bit of it. Not super far in. I've mostly been playing with the adventure mode, because that kind of let me just experiment a little more. There are not a lot of people playing, honestly. If you look, there's 97 people in the general chat right now, so there's only about 100 people on this test room at any given moment. 97 is fairly consistent. It's usually been about 100. So, at most, you have 29 people playing public games. I'm not going to dick around with a public game. I've never even really got into one in this beta anyway, so whatever. So the difficulties are different. You got normal, hard, expert, master, and then torment. Torment, you have to get a hero to level 70 to use torment. Now, as you level it up, you see at normal, baseline Diablo 3, you get 75% extra golden XP for hard, 100% and bounty award doubles for expert, and Master is even more extra gold and XP, and new legendary recipes can drop. I don't know what Torment looks like. I have not hit that point. I will probably again show that when I have leveled my monk a little bit further. I'm playing on Expert. Master is hard. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, the game is actually difficult. Master is difficult. I don't have the elemental resistances to quite handle... you know, I can handle most creatures, but elemental resistances are not high enough, especially since I lost a lot of resistances, and I'll kind of talk about why. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to hit private game, we're going to go into adventure mode. Campaign is the campaign. That's fairly standard. If you've played Diablo 3, you know what the campaign looks like. You just go through, you know, a fairly linear quest line, and that's how it works. Music is really kind of jolty sometimes, but... Now, no, this is a very early beta. This is the Friends and Family beta. It's a little buggy sometimes, but they're fairly minor. Like, mostly it's like maybe abilities not striking right, like in stuff kind of being a little odd. Probably, honestly, the biggest bug I've found is incomplete mini-maps occasionally, which, let's go ahead and take the sound down just the tiniest bit. An incomplete minimap's not a big deal, because it's like, it actually is complete. It's just kind of not super detailed, and you can get around just fine based off that. So my game's happily freezing, because I tried to open the menu instantly. Because I have a fantastic computer. There we go. Alright, let me take the sound down just a tiny bit, because the sound is like, it'll get really loud all of a sudden, for like no reason. It sounds like a Diablo game, if you're unsure about that. So I got a lot of, I'm going to put on my dumb, I'm super cool stuff. Where's my stash? There it is. Da-da-da. There, now I look awesome. Okay. So, man, I love my monk. I love him. I'm sorry. So, a couple little things. If you're checking out the minimap, you'll see a couple things that you're probably not familiar with. So let's go ahead and look at, you got things like the Nephilim Obelisk. Now, what that's going to do for you, I'm not sure if I have the item I need to use it in hand. I don't think I do. But as you do adventure mode, yeah, you can find things like rift keystones, which that's going to open up a rift that takes you to a map that's like, kill a boatload of enemies. Just wreck your way through this area. And once you hit 100%, I haven't completed one yet because I only did like one and I got 50% and died a bunch. But I could probably do it now. I have better skills. But when you do it, you get, you know, some big reward at the end. That's kind of how adventure mode tends to work, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. So, for the most part, it's the same. However, one thing important to note, there is a new crafting station. This is called the Mystic. She's freaking awesome. She's my favorite new thing in Diablo. Now, one thing that's... I should talk about this, actually, before I get too much into that. One thing that is really important to note, this is a big announcement that came out a while ago. The auction house is gone. There is no auction house here in the beta, which, I mean, it'd be kind of dumb anyway if there was. It wouldn't be very useful. Oh, it's a lot of dexterity. It's a lot of dexterity. And that is very, very good for the game. Now, the reason for that is that your loot is actually meaningful. However, they don't want to screw over people who can't be constantly just, like, grinding legendaries, right? And I talk even a little bit about how I was stuck with like a one-hander and a shield forever because of the nature of the stats that I had. I mean, I was just kind of stuck with that. I probably could have found better stuff, but it was, you know, I didn't quite have the gold in the auction house, and stuff wasn't dropping for me because the old loot system was based on the idea that you had an auction house to help you find that stuff, so they didn't need to drop awesome stuff quite as much. So now they've kind of had to do things to change that. So I'll talk about the two, probably more in the future, but two big things that help you get better items. For one is these two merchants right here, Kadala and Lorathnar. Now, what they're going to do is as you do adventure mode, which we'll get into as well, you get blood shards. Now, blood shards let you do is you talk to the merchant, and you can get, for 5 blood shards, a random item of X type. Sometimes they're terrible, sometimes they're great. I was able to pull a really good dagger that I was using for a couple hours with 3 pulls at the one-handed mystery weapon. Most of them were like really crappy blue ones, and I pulled a really great yellow. So they can be really good, and I don't know what rarity they can go up to, but they can be pretty solid items. They really can. However, if you're feeling a little more lucky and you spend more time, 100 blood shards gets you the Greater Heraldric Cache, which, as you do adventures, you get regular Heraldric caches. and those just kind of drop a bunch of random rarity items, which are kind of cool. Um, so yeah, so then we talk about the Mystic. The Mystic is the other thing that's going to help you out. So I've got her trained up to level 6 right now, which... Sorry, I got her trained up to level 10 now, and I am broke as balls. That's fine. I don't need gold. Gold comes fairly quickly at this level, honestly. And when you're doing adventures on expert difficulty, fairly quick. So I'm not super concerned about it. So, talk a little bit about what these things do. So you have Enchant and you have Transmogrify. Transmogrify is very, very simple. I'm going to go ahead and toss my shoulders in there. It lets me change what my shoulders look like. That is all... Ooh. That's kind of cool. Yeah. See, like, you can just be like, I don't like how my shoulders look. See, these are kind of boring. So I'm going to change them to that for 500 gold. It's pretty cheap. They keep it nice and cheap. It's easy to do. Good. Excellent. I like that. Anyway. So that's not super important. And that's why I talked about it first. So we'll talk about enchant. Let's take... I got to find something I haven't enchanted. Okay, I have not enchanted these. I will not be able to because I am broke now. Oh, wait, no. They don't cost much. Interesting. So maybe I'll even re-enchant this one. Just because part of it I don't really care about. So what you can do with this is when you put it in, it shows you all the properties. Now, they've created a system in which you have primary and secondary properties to an item. Primary are better, generally speaking. Secondary include resistances and odd bonuses like extra gold from monsters and like, I don't know, it's lots of weird stuff. I'll kind of show you some of them. So what you can do, you can shove it in there, you can select a property. So let me look at, these are the things I could possibly get if I re-enchanted it. Life after each kill, extra gold from monsters, which is already what it is. Ranged and melee attackers take damage when they hit me, you know, etc. Things like that. So I can hit replace property. Replacing and enchanting an item soul binds it to you. And I got a whole bunch of crap. That's goodness. So it just gave me... So what it's going to do is going to take 2 of these at random, and it looks like it can do the same one twice, and show them to you. So whatever, I'll choose that. If you want, you can choose the original property, and... Because this is the thing. When you enchant something, it's been enchanted now. So that one thing is all I can do to it. I cannot, you know, happily have fun changing the stats around, like every stat of an item around. It's not an option. So kind of what that lets you do, most of my stuff is actually enchanted, and I've been able to take my stuff and increase its stats by quite a lot, actually. I need better armor. This armor is only decent because of how many slots it has, and even that's not great. So, like, for example, I believe these gloves originally only had, like, maybe 120 dexterity. I swapped the dexterity, and it was like, all right, we'll give you, like, 400. And I was like, cool. You know, so it allowed me to take my items and just make them a lot more solid across the board. Now, some things where they're very much just their properties, like rings and amulets, I'll show you real quick. Let me shove this amulet in here, and I click, and it's like 1.1 million. Yeah, it's not terrible. Like I said, money comes fairly quickly. I had about 1 million before I just shot her to level 10. And what, by the way, all that leveling her does is unlock new things, new appearances. Like, that's literally all it does for you. That is an epic helmet. Ooh. See, like, I can do this, and it's... You lose a little bit of that fun, like, ooh, I picked up an item with an awesome aesthetic. You know, yeah, that's gone a little bit. That's unfortunate. But... See, it fits the theme of my... I wonder if I can do a full theme. Sorry. I enjoy this kind of stuff. Like, honestly, I really do. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. Let's look like that. I think these boots might, or these pants might already be... Oh, no. Alright. See, this is dumb. And this is just stuff you can do now. Like, I'm just happily playing with this, going, this is fantastic. Because now I can... Because I'm really aesthetics-oriented with my itemization. And so, being able to have these, like, absurdly specific looks...
I will not do that.
Okay, so you can't do anything. So yeah, now I look like that. So that's kind of fun. Anyway, So the Mystic lets you change stuff on your items around, which allowed me to get the stats I needed to not have to worry. Like, by doing that and getting a couple of great items, I was able to take my toughness is higher than it was when I logged off, I could swear. I was able to, like, literally, and people who have played this game for a long time are going to, like, cringe. I have 70k, that's okay, but I had, like, 30, like, yesterday. And my toughness was probably about 600, or, yeah, about 600,000. I had about 75k health. Like, I've doubled most of my stats. But that doesn't make the game easy. It's still difficult. Like, I really had to rearrange... That was another thing. I had to rearrange my skill tree, which I'm still thinking about changing a couple around. So let me kind of show you some of the skills. There is two big things to note within the skills. Everybody's getting a new level 60 skill. So for the monk, it's Epiphany. And you unlock, you know, the different runes for it as you go. Epiphany's super cool. I'll talk about it real quick for people who play monks. For 15 seconds, spirit regeneration is greatly increased and your melee attacks instantly dash you to a target. Now, this has interesting effects. For abilities like Wave of Light, which I have it set as an AoE rather than like a hit in front of me kind of an ability, so it's not targeted. It just blasts out from me. But if I target an enemy with it, I teleport to them and then blow up. It's pretty awesome. That's only when that's active. However, what's especially nice to note about that, the spirit regeneration is wacky as balls. Let me turn it on and watch it. So you can see I can just be popping this spell like over and over again. It's pretty awesome. So that's done. So Epiphany, I changed some of my other skills around, but that's really the only one that's new in that regard. However, what you do have is new passives, and at level 70 you can get a 4th passive. That's pretty cool. Nirvana is super dumb. Momentum. Moving 30 yards increases your damage. Like, again, I don't do that. And what's this guy do? That's cool. I might use that. Anyway, so they added new passive skills. The ability to get a 4th passive as well. I mean, you can use the older passives. Really great. Really, really cool. Again, you know, you're leveling higher, so you should be able to do more interesting stuff with it. So, there goes my frame rate. And we are going to... I'm going to go ahead and show you what adventure mode looks like. Bring up the map. Now, how adventure mode works is supposed to be very fluid. You can move around pretty much however you feel like. Now, I have adventure moded into, this is Act 2, yeah? So this is the area for Act 2, and you can see there are 5 rewards, and the reward is 102,000 gold and 238,000 XP. And then various amounts of, you know, you get a Hereditary cash, and blood shards, blah, blah, blah. So, let's jump to Howling Plateau. Let's do it. Loading. Cool. Cool. So what's going to happen here is the quest is pretty much always the same. Kill 50 monsters and kill Taros the Wild, or whoever it is at any given time. Oh, you know what I should talk about? Paragon. Now everybody remembers the Paragon level. Paragon level, how that worked was the higher your Paragon level, the better your magic find and whatnot was. So the idea was you would kind of level beyond max level to just have better chance at loot. Paragon does not work that way anymore. It is a whole lot more awesome. Just saying. What it is now is it is passive effects. So, say I have a point in core Paragon. I can increase a stat by 5. Offense, attack speed, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, cooldown reduction, defense, life, armor, dodge, resist all, and utility, maximum spirit, magic find, movement speed, and gold pickup radius. Obviously, maximum spirit is specific to monks, but if you have something else, I'm sure it's the same idea. +1 spirit per point. Super excellent. So everybody in the beta is starting with 3 paragons. You can kind of get on and fiddle with it. So I increase my dexterity, increase my attack speed, and increase my life total by a small amount. It's very, very small, but as you can see, there are a lot of point options. Actually maxing these out would take an absurd amount of time. Now, I'm not gaining paragon levels, as I am not the max level anymore. I was like paragon level like 12, I think. So I'm having to re-level to 70. Once I get to 70, I'll be able to start getting Paragon. So let me put my passive bonuses on. Excellent. I love Monk, by the way. Monk is pretty much the best class in the game. Just saying. Oh, goodness. That skill does so much damage, I don't even know what the point of any other skill is. All my other skills are just to keep me alive and have enough spirit to use that spell. Goodness. I am going to change my skills around, by the way. They are not good. My mantra, I don't like it. I should be using a different one. Or at least a different rune on it. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. I'll probably, you know, let me do that right now, actually. Okay, so I have Mantra of Conviction. Enemies around me take more damage. I think we're going to do Mantra of Healing. We're going to increase my survivability, because I do kind of need it. So, increases resistance or increases vitality. Let's go ahead and use Time of Need. So, okay, so now I have some resistances. Feel a little happier about that. My 2, by the way, it is a heal for myself and nearby allies, but it increases my damage for a while, so I usually just kind of have it on.
Not enough spirit.
Ah. I hate these enemies. They hurt really bad. Sniped, sort of. I'm terrible at fighting them. I don't really have any gap closers. So let's turn on Epiphany and Serenity. Sorry, that is my ultimate, like, I can murder anything. Oh, man, of course I use that right before I get to the freaking blue enemy. I'll deal with them in a bit.
You were ambushed in the cave. Help the others.
Let us go in to help. It is the least we can do.
Generally speaking, I try to fight elites with Serenity and Epiphany both up. Now, I could probably do it with just Serenity, but Epiphany makes it easy. So let's go ahead and go in there and just fight them. Oh, there.
I need spirit.
Where are you going?
My will falters. That ability is not yet recharged.
Oh, goodness. They're nightmarish. They keep making me run weird directions. Alright, there goes your chains. What are you gonna do? Man, that makes me mad. I have found elite enemies a lot harder in this, by the way. Why did I grab that? It was gray. And I'm also playing kind of bad because I'm, like, thinking about other things. I'm concentrating on trying to talk a little bit. Inventory, got some random crap. Excellent. Oh, that was another thing. So, they added a system that they kind of refer to as Loot 2.0. Are you blue? Yeah, you are. Come here. Come here. See, Epiphany... See, okay, so I can teleport around with it because I have Epiphany on, which is pretty awesome. Epiphany just makes... It's just like... The text on it should just read, like, become overpowered as hell. Like, it's dumb how much damage I'm able to put out. Especially with Serenity on. I can pretty much kill anything, because it's like, I'm invulnerable for, what is it, 3 seconds? 3 seconds, and, oh, I don't have them now. And these enemies are annoying, because they won't let me hang out with them. Hey, crazy kids.
My strength fails. What you
Okay, this is like the worst kind of enemy I could be fighting right now.
My will falters.
Get off my butt. Kite him around a little while.
My will falters.
And I'm dead. I do not like these guys, by the way. This is the most annoying kind of thing as a melee character that I can be fighting, because they just yank me around, like, ugh, makes me mad. Go ahead and revive the checkpoint. I'm just not going to fight them. So I don't have to. I just have to find this hero guy, and I have to kill him. People are probably like, he's so bad. I am not great at Diablo. Just saying. I really enjoy the game, but I am not a hardcore by any means. I just enjoy it. Okay, go ahead and... There we go. I think it's really fun. I think it's a great just group friend, like, get my friends on. I have my friend at Blizzard who got me the key, and a buddy of mine who will also be receiving a key pretty soon. We'll be playing it together, and it'll be great. Come here. Here's what we do. We Epiphany, we Serenity, and I blow you up in like 2 shots. Just saying. So, I completed an adventure. Let me grab this treasure chest, and we'll probably head back home. See, adventure mode, you can just teleport around. Nice and easy. It's just intended to like get you into fighting. You know, you go into a group. I would really like to do this with a group of 4 people and just have fun running around blowing up minions, and just like it's just simple, and you just have fun with it. So, all right, now I did get more gold and XP than it says because I am playing on a higher difficulty. So I got the Heredra cache. I got 12 blood shards. So continue. We'll go ahead and open that up, so I'm back up to 327, and I will go ahead and use this Heredra cache. Got a bunch of reusable parts, another blood shard, which is okay, ruby, amethyst, emerald, you have marquee, pretty big. Diamonds are pretty awesome, we'll show you those in a second. So let's look at, I got a veiled crystal, which is a crafting material. I got a guard, which has a boatload of armor, but is of no use to me because it has no stats, and another veiled crystal. And that's kind of what those involve. Now, if I get up to 100 blood shards, I can get the greater cache from him, which would be super fun. You can pull like legendaries and stuff out of those sometimes. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Crappy helmet. Crappy helmet. Don't need it. What was I going to talk about? I was totally going to talk about something that was kind of like, I should talk about this. Whatever. Lost track of it. So, as you can see, I've completed 1 bounty. And there are a total of 4 more. Let's go to Rotal Carnus. Oh, also I believe in adventure mode you can kill act bosses. Or like the bigger bosses, like the spider and various other things. Treasure chest. Let's kill some stuff. Let us kill some stuff. Indeed. Ooh. This Daibo is amazing, but I mean, considering the kind of gear I've usually picked up, it's really good. Like, this is just like, this is for monks, and it's awesome. And I just shove some extra damage on it, and I hit like a truck. Boom. Most satisfying skill ever. Ooh, Kane's Lost Satchel, which I have, of course, already picked up. One thing that's kind of fun in the beta, by the way, since this is technically a new, like, account, this is on a new server, all my achievements were wiped, which is kind of funny because it means, like, I'm, like, a level 64 character who hasn't finished any campaign achievements or things like that. But what's also fun about it is it meant that when I first logged on, I just got, like, 30 achievements for, like, random stuff, like having certain artisans leveled and things like that. You're just like, oh, I achieved a lot just now. Bam! Summon the horrible beast. Come here. Boom. Sorry, that skill is just super satisfying. I don't like it, honestly, quite as much as I love Seven-Sided Strike, but unfortunately Seven-Sided Strike just isn't as good for me.
I don't have enough spirit.
I don't care if you don't have enough spirit. Do it anyway. You'll have enough spirit in a second. Come here.
I need spirit.
I'm aware you need spirit. Just do it anyway. Do what I say, guy.
I learned much from
There we go. The ability to, like, teleport around like that and just hit like a truck is amazing to me. Like, I love the new skills they added. I love how they handled items now. I think some hardcores would probably be a little annoyed with it because it is kind of easier to get. It's still easier than it should have be, like, as far as kind of the old Diablo 2 style mentality to get really awesome items, but the game's more accessible in this respect. Get off my butt. Oh, wow. Oh, God. I should have got out of there a little quicker. I got hit by everything. That's alright. So you can revive at corpse. Like, adventure mode is pretty lenient. It is kind of hard sometimes, but it's not bad. Okay, come here. Come here, big guy. Nightmarish. Okay, got my combo. Yeah. I like the appearance of that's Epiphany. You go like all crazy looking. It's cool. It's cool. My gear is like breaking. Okay. So the last boss guys just appeared. The last boss guys honestly not as hard as Uniques a lot of the time. Like I can usually blow them up in a few attacks. They're not bad. Come on, freeze me. I'm gonna die, aren't I?
It cannot be done.
I only have 130 more potions. What will I do? Finish another adventure. Nice and easy. So yeah. Get back to in camp. You don't have to, I like to go back to the camp and kind of regroup for a second. That's how I work. Alright. Now, these changes to the game, I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of where I stand with them. These changes to the game are not going to turn this into Diablo 2. Okay. The game isn't that level. It's just not... It's not going to come out of left field the way that Diablo 2 did and do something incredible. I mean, that's just how that's how it goes. And there's a good chance that I'm about to re-enchant some stuff on these and switch to dual wielding. So I'll do that while I'm talking. The game is still, I hate to use the term, it's still a little more easy mode than something like Diablo 2 was. Okay? You actually are going to have to try. But, so it's not like super ridiculous like Diablo 3 was, where it's just like, well, I can just farm gold and buy my stuff on the auction house, which I was totally doing. I mean, because I'm not super hardcore into these games. I think they're a lot of fun. I really only play them seriously if I'm either testing a beta or I have friends to play with. If you can give me dexterity, you will be my favorite thing on earth. Yes. Yeah. Select property. Okay. Do some math. Do some math. Sorry, I'm thinking and talking at the same time. It's not good. And my phone's buzzing. Excellent. I'll play with the math on that later. So, it is simpler. However, these changes that they've added bring a lot of life to the game. You've got things like adventure mode. If you have friends, I still wouldn't... It's not like Diablo 2 where I felt like you could kind of just jump on with random people and have fun and it'd be ridiculous. You still can. I mean, I still do. I still do that kind of thing. I think it's enjoyable. If you have some friends, though, on Skype, Diablo 3, absolutely amazing. And I think this breathes a ton of new life into it. I think it's going to be absolutely great for the game. I would really hope that people are going to give it a shot rather than... See, I lost some damage. I didn't lose a lot of damage, and I gained... What's my toughness? 146. That's worth it. That's worth it. I'm going with that. Okay, so this one does more. Yeah, that's worth it. Sorry, it is. Yeah, I only lost a little bit of damage. Got a lot of... Yeah. Means I'm going to change my skills around. So the game is breathed a lot of new life. I would definitely suggest, I mean, keep an eye on it, especially as they get into more beta keys. If you can get into a beta as they go on. This is just friends and family right now, but eventually they'll go into the closed beta. Try out the Crusader class. It's super fun. Like, I'm literally level 4, and I love that class, and I need to sit down and play with it more. I just really wanted to do kind of some of the late game stuff and check out how my monk played, which, this is the thing. All those items you bought on the auction house suck, okay? Loot is a bit better now. Like, stuff that drops is better. It drops a little less often, but individual things that you drop are way, way freaking better. Just saying. So that's a big deal. Most of this stuff I've got really was a huge upgrade, and it just dropped while I was running around. The gear... I mean, I had a level 60 legendary in this hand with a shield in that hand, and I picked up just like a yellow dagger that was like 1 level higher and way better. Like, it's just a exceedingly more functional items, and that's great. You feel better about what you get. I really hope I get an awesome chest piece soon, because it's pissing me. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over here, I'm going to show you this person.
Fate smiles on you today.
I'm going to salvage the crap out of everything in my inventory first. I've already wandered through it. I don't need any of it. Sorry, Daibo. You were great for a minute, but I don't need you anymore. That'll do. Quick little rush through there. Da-da-da. Chest armor. See what I get. Piece of crap. See what I get. Terrible. See what I get. Better. See what I get. Just gonna keep doing this. No. I'm not doing this till I have... There we go. Yeah. Not quite as much armor. It's got the empty socket. Yeah, alright. I'll take it. I will take it. Shut up, Squirt the Peddler. See, it's just little things like this. You can have fun with it. You can run around. Let me throw... See, that has 613 with a plus 229. This was a bad chess piece. It's just not good. So, just saying. Like, even just... I have gained 40,000 health since we started this. Like, I'm getting so much better now. And it's fantastic. Honestly, I suggest it. When it becomes available to you, play Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. Especially if you can get any of your old friends who used to play Diablo 3 and don't like it anymore. Get on it when you can, because it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's very enjoyable. I really like the changes that they've done. I think it breathes a lot of new life into the game, and I think it's going to be really good for Diablo 3. This is, in a lot of ways, how the game should have been in the first place. I have been Atlas. It's been fantastic talking with you guys today. I will probably do a video when I get, I'll say, level 30-something with a Crusader, which I'll try to do. And I will see you next time.